Hi, I'm David. Welcome to my channel, My Yard Sale. Happy Sunday. It's Sunday, it's the weekend. It's a nice day today where I'm at. It's um it's actually been pretty hot the last couple of days. Gets up to like 100 degrees during the day, and then at night it's like upper 60s, 70s, which isn't terrible, but definitely on the warmer side. It's definitely a lot warmer. I can deal with 72 degrees at night for a couple of nights, but at one point that 72-degree mark gets pretty warm. And I think that's probably when I would usually put on air conditioning, but I don't really have air conditioning right now, so I'm having to deal with it. At some point, probably in the next couple of weeks, the nights will start getting back down into the 50s and 60s and it'll be more comfortable. I'll close up the windows at night, open up the windows during the day, and it'll stay pretty moderate in my house for the entire day. I'm happy about that. So I wanted to take a couple of minutes and just update on my health and what I've been dealing with lately. I have still been dealing with this elbow snapping. Let me see if I can make it snap. Nope, that snapping was my chair that I'm sitting in. I've been dealing with this snapping that started in my shoulders. Like I would raise my hands, raise my arms way up in the air, and I would feel and hear the snapping in my shoulders, which is really strange. And then my elbows worked, but didn't work right until I finally could get them to snap by stretching and doing weird quick movements and everything. Like my elbows were snapping, and and now it seems like that's moved down through my forearms and into my hands. So now, like I can make it's not as loud, but I can make my hands snap pretty constantly, and it feels like there's a tension in my hands until I can make them snap, and it's definitely in both hands. So it's definitely both sides, which is very strange. I've been having this tension that I talked about last week in my spine. It started in the base of my spine, and it just didn't really go away. It's still there, and it went from the base of my spine up to the top of my spine, in between my shoulders. It felt like my shoulders were being stretched apart or squeezed together, and I had to like try to stretch like multiple times a day, which is not impossible or not difficult, but it's definitely a pain because like that tension in between my shoulders and in my spine makes it so that my hands don't work right, and like if I'm trying to carry something, a bowl or something, like somehow it's transferred to my spine, and I can feel like the weakness go from my spine all the way to my hands and fingers. It's really strange. I don't even know how to explain that. But I'm hoping that this thing with my spine will start resolving pretty soon. I'm happy to share that I'm definitely starting to gain some weight. I'm starting to build some muscle, which I guess that's good news. I had lost so much weight, so much bone mass and just muscle that gaining any kind of weight is is a major hurdle getting I'm getting over. Like I was so thin, I was terrifyingly thin, and trying to gain some weight back. And I know that that's not exciting for a lot of people. Gaining weight is not exciting for a lot of people. Losing weight is more exciting. The problem is for me, is I lost so much weight. It was it was terrifying. I looked like a ghost. It was crazy. So so this debate, I don't even know what to say about that debate. I feel like I should talk about it real quick. The I watched the whole debate, obviously. I'm not a politically driven person. I don't have I'm not on one side or the other. I'm trying to figure out what's right for myself. I'm not, I don't care about a party or a color or a you know, an animal type. Like I'm not gonna make any decisions that I make based on what one party states. But I just don't even know what to think about that whole debate. Like I feel like a lot of this stuff that we're watching is loaded to make everybody lean one way or the other. And I'm getting the feeling like it doesn't matter what actually happens. I think what's going to end up eventually happening after that is already all decided. And it doesn't matter whether we pick one politic or another. I feel like the decisions are already made. We're going to continue to be engaged in these wars. We're going to continue to fund seed oils, and we're going to continue to fund, bad dietary stuff that is going to kill people. We're going to continue to fund gain of access um, places in Wuhan and in in Europe. We're going, I think those are all going to just continue to be funded, and we're just going to continue to be slowly picked apart until horrible things happen and people can't make any changes. That's what I'm kind of feeling. So the debate, I didn't know what to think about that. I was so confused. And then it's funny because I was just sitting there all stumped, like, what the heck? And I ended up going to bed that night. I'm laying in bed. I'm looking at TikTok or Instagram or one of these apps, and there's this Hawk Tui girl, and I'm like, what? That's awesome! Like that kind of resolved my tension of the debate. This girl that's talking about spitting on dicks. I'm like, what the heck? I hope she makes $1 million and gets and finds her success in her future because that was so unusual and so well timed that I was like, what the heck? So good for her. So I've got this weird, not weird, but this neuropathy in my hands that like it's made things extremely difficult. Like trying to hold things in my hands. I don't have the strength, and if I'm if I have like both my hands underneath a bowl, it's possible that one of my hands actually isn't under the bowl like I think it should be. And I haven't dropped any bowls lately, but I have to like double down and make sure that I've got a good handle on things. And what sucks is carrying hot things, like carrying a hot bowl of stuff. Like I'll have a towel situated so that it'll keep me from burning my hands, and then something will slip a little bit. The next thing you know, my hand is on a scalding part of the bowl, and it's like not impossible to hold on to it, but it's difficult. It's a real pain. Like this whole thing with this neuropathy, it's been sided on my body. Like my left hand side is not equal to my right hand side. Like my eyesight actually feels like it's starting to get better, but it's one eye, not the other. At some point, I'm gonna have to get new glasses because I think my prescription is probably not quite as bad as maybe it used to be. Um, like I don't know that for sure, but it feels like it. Like my eyes like can focus better than they did a month ago, but not completely clear. So this whole thing with the one-sided, like if I sit on my bed, I can lift my right leg up, and I lift it up and I hold it up trying to get the strength in my muscles, which I'm finally starting to get some muscles in my legs. But I can hold it up and I count to 10 or 20 or 30, and I'm good with my right side. But my left side, not so good. I've been trying to work on it. I can lift my leg up, straight up, not straight up, but like out, I don't even know what you call it. Like I lift my leg up and I hold it up for 10 or 20 seconds. After 10 seconds, it's starting to lag down and I have to hold my leg up. I try to force myself to hold it up. It's kind of weird to have one leg that has the strength and the other leg that doesn't. And I guess that's normal, but it's normal to have one side much stronger than the other. But this is weird because this is simple things. This is as simple as even just walking. One leg, my right leg is plenty strong. I have plenty of strength. And actually, when I go upstairs, I find myself leading with my right leg because I have the strength in my right leg. My left leg, not quite so much. So I've been trying to work out and get that leg kind of caught back up with my right leg. That's kind of a weird thing that's going on. I have this I have this food that I've been making for a long time. I cook up a 5 pound roll of hamburger meat. I put in a bunch of spices and herbs and salt. I cook up the big old pot, and I like to and I put a lot of beans in it and some vegetables. I cook that all up in a big pot, and then I eat that pretty regularly. Actually, it's got I get the higher fat meat, so there's a good amount of fat in the meal. And then I take I use a couple of flour tortillas, and I just make like not tacos, but kind of like tacos. I eat the meat and then I dip the tortillas in the fat and the sauce that makes, and it's kind of good. I enjoy that. But lately, I've been craving sugar, and I don't use any sugar. I use sugar. I use non-nutritive sweetener. I use allulose if I need sweetener. But I've actually been craving sugar. In the last couple of weeks, I've bought a couple of these little cakes that I buy, and man, I couldn't hang on to those for 3 days. As fast as I bought them, I ate them up. I've been craving sugar so bad. It's really strange. I don't usually crave sugar, and if I eat something salty, it does kind of make the craving go away a little bit. But as soon as the salt's out of my mouth, then I'm craving sugar again. I don't know what that's all about. I mean, luckily I know that eating sugar causes me problems. It gives me major anxiety and makes my body not work right. So I can not eat a bunch of sugar. But I feel like somehow in this cycle that I'm going through, this craving for sugar is like it's coming up out of nowhere, and I don't completely understand it. Like I'm not one to crave sugar that much. For a while, I was craving bread. This was a long time ago, a couple of months ago probably. I'm not craving bread, but I do crave sugar. It's kind of crazy. So I'm still looking for a job and trying to find a job at my age. I thought it was my age, but it's not. It's not my age because if I apply to 10 jobs and I apply as not specifying whether I'm a male or if I'm not specifying my race, if I put 50 to 60, I'll not immediately get a response from the place. But as soon as I click that I'm a male and I'm white, 9 out of 10 of those jobs, I get an immediate response that they've decided to move on with another person, or I'm not the right fit. Now I know I'm the right fit for the job because I'm only applying to jobs I'm a good fit for, and then I look at the job, I look at the job description, and I cater my resume to the job description. So I know I'm a good fit. They're discriminating and not moving me forward because I'm male and because I'm white. And this is impossible. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to hold out being discriminated because I'm white and male, because clearly I'm a white male and I'm highly qualified for a lot of these jobs. These companies are just not hiring based on that I'm a white male. I'm a white male. They're hiring some other group, and I get it. Everybody needs to be able to get a job, but if I'm highly qualified, I should be getting the job. I should be getting at least a job offer. But at this point, I'm not even getting to the next step of actually being able to talk to somebody. They're scraping my resume right off the list just based on the superficial stuff that's in the application. And it's funny because the companies that I've talked to, I can be a good fit, and then I may have a really good conversation with the HR person, maybe even the hiring manager, and then the ones that don't want to call me back and tell me, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're not hiring white people right now, or we're not hiring males." Those are the ones that just ghost me. Like I won't hear anything from them. And even if I try to reach back out to them, that's when I get the thing that they've decided to move on with somebody else that was a better fit for what they're looking for. Like I have to force them to respond to me, and then I know that it's this discrimination thing. So I don't know what the heck's going on with that. Like when is the US going to just get back to normal? And I don't feel like it's not normal because I can't get a job, but I'm highly qualified for a lot of these jobs, and I'm just getting completely wiped right off the list. And I know what's going to happen. I mentioned this, I think, last week or a couple weeks ago. I know what's going to happen. They're hiring all these people based on EEOE or whatever it is, the equal. I don't know what it is, EEOE or. So they're hiring all these people based on that, and I think they're not hiring as much on the qualifications, and all those people are going to end up getting let go in the upcoming months, maybe even year, because they're not as qualified as other people. At this point, I'm starting to see companies are like they're trying to hire kids that are just getting out of school, getting out of college, that meet their gender and their race targets. So they're trying to hire those kids. I mean, how many of those kids are there? At some point, they're going to have to figure something. They're going to have to, I don't know, go against the government. I think it's the government that forces them to hire based on gender and race. I think that it's the government. I don't know that the companies want to have to hire based on those metrics versus hiring the most quality, the best people. I don't totally understand that. So one of the things that's really strange that I've been having the last couple of weeks, and I read about this or I saw a video on this, I have these weird itchy spots on my arms and everywhere where I have the neuropathy. I have these itchy spots that they don't like flare up, and it's not unbearable, but it is itchy, and it's not like a bug bite, or it's not like a it's not like poison ivy. It's just a weird little itchy spot. And I scratch it a couple times and it goes away. But I'm starting to get that in like right on the edges of my thumbs and on the side of my hand, my palm there. So that's kind of strange that's happening. Other than that, it feels like things are just sort of getting by to get by. And I'm happy about that. I'm okay with no emergencies. Anyways, I hope this is an interesting post. I know these aren't all too interesting, and hearing about my ridiculous problems with my health is not that exciting, but I feel like there are a couple people out there that may be going through what I'm going through that might get some relief by hearing that I'm dealing with some of this stuff and maybe it's starting to resolve. Anyways, I hope this is an interesting post, and if it is, do me a favor and give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate you subscribing. I'll continue to tell my story and hopefully have better news and maybe share some things that I've figured out along the way. If you are subscribed, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for subscribing, and thanks for hanging in here with me. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.